So this is another no ban list tournament that we had for over in China, and they do love running these, and it's a lot of fun seeing what comes out of it. But we honestly have a cool breakdown for you guys here. Now, let's get into the breakdown before we get into the topping lists. But we have it was held on the 21st and 22nd. Most of the cards are unlimited, but the following: they banned Delinquent Duo and Forceful Sentry because they're way too powerful, but also confiscation is at 1. Pre-release cards are allowed, and certain cards might be unerrated, like Makira and Dark Strike Fighter. Now, for the deck breakdown, there were a total of 94 players, with 17 Ryziel, 15 Malice, 14 Tier Limit, 6 Toons, 5 Vanquish Soul Canine, 3 Meta Beat, 3 Ritual of Light and Darkness, 3 Magical Scientists, and 28 other decks. And we can see the top placement right here. You have Toon, Balkan FTK, Ryziel Zodiac, Toon Dark Strike Fighter, Tier Limits, Magical Scientist FTK, Ryziel, DD Dynamite, and then Ryziel again. And this was all posted on Twitter and also Bilibili. Now let's get into the top cut and look at the lists. So these are the top 4 lists as we could see here, and Toons are off to a interesting start. Now, honestly, I really do like where they just do these formats because it's a lot of fun just to look and react. And honestly, let's get into the first image. Now, if we look over here at the Toon list, we could see quite a bit going on. Now, we have things like Cyframe Gamma, Maxi, Ash Blossom, and also Shifter for our staple hand traps, along with Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, because they are really powerful. Also, Dominus Spark really making a wave, especially in this deck. Now you have the 1 Toon Dark Magician, the 1 Toon Dark, or Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. You also have Toon Mermaid, 3 of the Funny Dark Rabbit, and it looks like 1 Cat, no, and 1 Evil Box. You also have the 3 Toon Table, the 3 Bookmark, the 3 brand new Toon World, and a copy of Call by the Grave with Toon Terror, the Shadow Toon as well that creates the FTK, 1 Imperm, and 1 Impulse. Now, if we look at the extra deck, you have the 2 Toon Blue Eyes White Dragons, Magistus Chorozo. You also have the Balkan there, and the Odd Eyes Soul Blaze Dragon. That's a really cool tech in this deck, and that's probably needed. You also have the Teller Knight stuff along with the Entity cards. 2 Selene, because you could just loop cards back to the field, which is absolutely brilliant. The 1 Geonator Transverser, the 1 brand new Link 2 Dark Spellcaster, Cross Shape, and Al Mirage. So overall, this is a pretty standard FTK because what you're doing is just building a board or going to Balkan, give your opponent a lot of tokens, then Geonator, swap it over, and use Shadow Toon to burn for the Balkan if you control the brand new Toon World. Then after that, for the side deck, we see the 1 Nibiru, 3 Lancia, 3 Fulos, 3 Droll, 1 Confi, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crown, and 1 Red Reboot. Then let's get into the second place list. You can see the same hand traps being Shifter, Maxi, and Ash, but you're running Droll here instead because of all the FTKs. Now, it's just Ryziel with 3 Rat, 3 Barrage, along with the 1 Borbo, Broadbowl, Trident, Tiger Mortar. You also have the Zeus, the Mirological Aggregator, because you could just send that off of X. You have the double duo drive. You have your Azathoth, which is honestly really powerful with Telenite Ptolemaeus, Dweller, Shockmaster, Eclipse Twins. It's the same song and dance that we saw quite a lot. Then you also have the extra deck, or the side deck, being the 3 Lancia, 2 Fulos, 2 Feather Duster, 2 Call by the Grave, 3 Mystic Mine, 3 Imperial Order, and the 1 Red Reboot. So literally floodgates out the wazoo. Then we have another Toon FTK, but this one's focusing around the unerrated Dark Strike Fighter because this deck can bring out so many bodies just because of how powerful it is. Now we can see that there's Harmonia in here because you have a lot of good sentence targets. You're most likely going to be sending them along. And you'll also have the same hand traps being Ash, Maxi, Gamma, Shifter because those are relatively strong. You also still have the 1 Toon Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, the 1 Mermaid, the 1 Cat, and Evil Box with the 3 Dark Rabbit, but you also have 3 Pot of Greed, 3 Graceful Charity, 3 Painful Choice, the Toon Terror. You also have Toon Table, 2 Bookmark, and the 3 Field Spell. Now, this is just Let's Spam Big Body Blue Eyes Ultimate Toon as much as we can and burn with Dark Strike Fighter. So really, Toons are doing their thing. Now you also have the Azathoth stuff with the Teller Knights, Nearla as well, SP, the Link 2 monster, Cross Sheep, and Link Cross. Then we also finally have the side deck being triple Fula, triple Droll, triple Spark, triple Emptiness, and triple Red Reboot. Dominant Spark seems to be everywhere because of how powerful it is. And then we look at tier limits, and it is a 60 card pile. It is tier limits running Makira the Destructor. This is probably Exchange of the Spirit FTK, because you could just mill out your opponent, and then on the next turn, just mill out the opponent again. But also they're running Gravekeeper's Trap, so with that, along with Medora and the Exchange of the Spirit, your opponent's not doing anything in the graveyard. So overall, it's just normal tier limit. You have the snow, you have the Makira the Destructor to thin out your graveyard, just with the snow alone. Then you also have the 3 Herald of the Orange Light, the 3 Maxi. So this is just basic tier limit. Only 1 Merly, which is shocking to see, but that's absolutely fine because you're just going to be having fun with Sprite Elf. Now you also have the Fairy Tale Fusion in here because any tier limit plus snow is that, so that's really cool. You have Azathoth as well. Honestly, they should consider banning Azathoth on their next no ban list format. Double of Bubble Chain, Abyss Dweller, and Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. And as we can see in the side deck, we have the 3 Lancia, 2 Meows, which is shocking, 2 Droll, 2 Mischief of the Gnomes, 2 Imperm, 2 Vanities, and then 2 Red Reboot. That's a lot, but honestly, tech choices aside, you have Painful Choice, Graceful Charity, and Instant Fusion for the spell cards, also with 1 copy of Vingolf's Blessing, which really, this is a very interesting list. But then we go into the other top 4, or the top 8 now, and we really have Magical Scientist in every single one of these events, which is absolutely crazy to think about. And this one's a bit smaller, but this is Magical Scientist FTK. That also goes into the Supreme King Starving Venom, because you have the Dark Pendulum right there. So this deck is literally get to Magical Scientist as fast as you can with Last Will, Pot of Greed, Painful Choice, Graceful Charity, and then you have all your defensives with the Call by the Grave and the Crossout Designator. You also have 1-for-1 and the staple lineup of Ash Blossom, Gamma, Maxi, Droll, and the 1 Veiler. But overall, this is just FTK. You just go Pastil, go into Supreme King, get the Lyralist out, and you could recycle back the Pastils somehow, some way, most likely just by other means. Or you could just go ahead and just have a lot of fun and end on something like the Machinex if you really want. But, oh yeah, that's what you're doing. You're summoning out the DDD Genghis for the Machinex, so you could use both that and the Pastilus to go into the second one. Yeah, that would do it. That does it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together right there, but I now did. And then the side deck's just triple Shifter, triple Lancia, triple Fuelos, 1 Veiler, 1 Giant Trinate, double Monster Reborn, and double Imperm. Now, one thing I want to take a note about this, if you open up Magical Scientist and Last Will, you normal it, they Veiler it, they negate it with whatever to make it permanent negated. You just link it away for Almirage, activate Last Will, summon out another copy, and then off you go. So overall, this is a very powerful FTK, and I definitely would be wary of it. Then we have Ryziel taking number 6 with the 3 Shifter, 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, and it's just basic Ryziel with Floodgates. You have Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity for consistency, Imperm, Vanities, Imperial Order, and then Royal Oppression, because it's a really powerful card. And then in the extra deck, you just have the same old, just a lot of sending targets off of X Ryziel, along with your rank 4s, and also Ptolemaeus, your stun options, with Shockmaster, Buguska, and then you also have Excitonite, because it's a really powerful Exceed monster. In the side deck, you have the 3 Lancia, 3 Droll, 3 Mystic Mine, 3 Evenly, 3 Red Reboot. Literally just Floodgate, board break, stop opponent's malice, and then Droll for the FTK. Then we have DD Dynamite FTK. Oh, this is fun. So Makira the Destructor was one of the cards that they did have pre-errata, so one of the things you could do is go Pot of Greed, Painful Choice, Graceful, Into the Void, just dump all your traps in the graveyard, or you could just DD Dynamite everything, and you could just bank the millions as well. Removing all 15, then remove all 15 of your opponents, and then you just DD Dynamite. And honestly, this deck is really crazy and definitely just all over the place. And in the side deck, we have the 3 Shifter, 3 Mono Awato, 3 of the Ancient Cloak, 1 Boot, 2 Launch, and then you have the 3 Curry Photon. Now you can go from Typhon up into the Raid Raptor with Launch, which is insane to think about. And I think some players will do this in the future with whenever Raid Raptor gets more support. And then we have the 8th place list here. We have Ryziel once again. Yeah, that's like our 3rd Ryziel list. Yeah, 2 Toons, 3 Ryziel, 2 FTKs, and then a tier. There's always a tier in the top cut, which is crazy to think about. But this list is very similar to this one up here. Outside of the Royal Oppressions, you can see things like the Plasma Hole. You also have other cards like Droll and Lockbird in the main, because this person played it more safer than the other, but they still have the Royal Oppression and the 3rd IO in the side deck. You have 2 Silent Graveyards, the 3rd Droll on the side, Ghost Mourner just in case of an FTK. You have the 2 Fulos, and then the 3 Lancia, and the 3 Red Reboots. So overall, this was a very interesting no ban list format to look at, and definitely one of the things that I didn't expect happening, with Toons taking 1st place being an FTK, and also 3rd place being an FTK. But tell me what you think about these results from the Chinese no ban list format, because I'm all here for the Toon FTKs, because this just shows how powerful some of these older cards are that allow something like this to happen. And honestly, the only old card in the Toon deck that we see is Mermaid and Toon Table of Contents. The rest are newer cards, oh, and also Toon Blue Eyes, but everything else is newer waves like Toon Dark Magician, Shadow Toon, Toon Terror, and honestly, none of the extract really sparks anything before 2010, 2012 about. So that's very crazy to think about. But then you have the consistency staples that are the older cards as well. But tell me what you think about this month's no ban list tournament, and I do hope we see more in the future, because this one was definitely shocking, seeing 2 different versions of a Toon FTK. But anyways, I've been BoltSpider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload. I would also like to thank FGH for supporting the channel through the channel memberships, as it's only 99 cents a month, and you can also join my Discord server, which is down in the description of every video that I post. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and goodbye.